All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now, Ali Abdelaziz slapped Dillon Danis at UFC 268. Now, this is funny for a couple of different reasons. I mean, besides the obvious. Like, Dillon Danis is like the guy from like the WB cartoons where he just like walks down the street and he slips on a banana peel and falls on his back and everyone's like, ah, that guy fell and landed on his head. Like, there's nothing that could happen to him that people don't laugh at. Like, seriously, if you actually think about it, it's like, when he got strangled at the bar in New Jersey, like the guy literally had like serious knee reconstructive surgery, right? Like the guy is standing on a leg that really needs to be left alone. Like it's in a brace where you really can't mess with that. Like you need to leave it alone so it can heal. He somehow ends up on his back getting strangled by a bouncer, and people are like, look at that, look at that. Like no one's looking at it like, geez, man, I hope the guy's knee is okay. Everyone's like, nah, it's Dillon, dude. It's Dillon Danis. Who cares? The guy should have kicked him right in the knee. Next time, kick his knee, man. Next time, just kick his knee right out from under him. I mean, geez, the guy deserves it. He talks a lot of trash on Twitter, And if you look at the things that he says, he's obviously really super serious. He's being super mean to everyone. Look at what he said to Michael Bisping. He said, hey, Bisping, you should have checked in with me before you got to New York. Heart emoji. See, that's a guy where I'm like, geez, whatever comes to this guy, he deserves it. Screw Dillon Danis. But anyway, we'll get to all that. But if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. Here's the deal. So 2 things I wanted to say about this. Actually, well, lots of things. But first, I want to say this. So if I was going to make a prop bet, right? And I was like, all right, now if you had to choose who was going to get slapped at UFC 268, who would you guess is that person? And I was like, A, Dillon Danis. B, I don't know, fill in the blank. And C, D, it's irrelevant because obviously everyone would pick A because he'd be like a minus 500 favorite over any other 4 people, whatever, right? But then if you were like, but who is the person who slaps Dillon Danis? Is it Michael Bisping? Huh? They had some Twitter beef. Was it Bisping? Huh? Or was it Ali Abdelaziz? Huh? Or was it option C, D, or E? See, originally I would have said, oh, it's probably more likely that Bisping did it because they were getting into it on Twitter. But there's the thing about like getting into it on Twitter and then actually physically striking someone. And I don't have a long history of Michael Bisping since he became a person of note who's on television slapping people around in public, right? So it kind of makes it like, I don't know if Bisping would have done it. But Ali Abdelaziz, let me just say this. This is a man who has a history of slapping people he doesn't like publicly, right? He slapped Dillon Danis this weekend. He slapped Abe, I believe, is Malky's brother, I believe. He tried to attack Colby Covington. I think there was another guy, too, that I'm totally forgetting about. But yeah, Ali's down to slap somebody around. So in all honesty, what happened here is like both the favorites winning the award. It's like Dillon Danis. Of course it was Dillon Danis got slapped. And who slapped him? Ali, obviously. But here's the thing about why would Ali specifically strike Dillon when there are so many people around that he has beef with, right? Well, I don't know about so many, but there are plenty of people that I'm sure he could find a reason to slap around. It's because it's been established, right, that you can slap Dillon Danis with impunity. Like nothing's going to happen to you. You can do whatever you want to this guy, Like on the cartoon, like everyone's just gonna laugh. He gets hurt, everyone's gonna laugh. Law enforcement or the UFC or whatever, like everyone just has the same approach. They're all, wait, what happened? He got in a fight backstage? Ali slapped somebody? They're like, he slapped them? Yeah, man, right in front of security. They're all, what the hell is he doing? They're all, I don't know, man, he just got pissed. They're all, who'd he slap? They're like, Dillon Danis. They're all, oh, fucking who cares, dude? Jesus, why didn't you say it was Dillon, dude? Who gives a fuck if he slapped Dillon? Hey, where is Dillon? They're all, he's icing his face over there. They're all, well, throw him the fuck out of here and tell him that he's gone for life. He's banned. He's never allowed at another UFC event. They're all, are you curious about what happened? Like, did Dillon do anything wrong? They're all, fuck no, man. The guy's trouble. Who cares? They're like, well, here we have a video. And actually, Dillon was just like waiting in line for a hot dog. Hot dog backstage. He was standing in line doing nothing. He was just having a pleasant conversation with someone that he knew. And Ali just walked up, tapped him on the shoulder, and pimp slapped him and said, you're my bitch, son. What you gonna do now, dog? What you gonna do, Dillon? Fuck you. So it was basically all Ali Abdelaziz. Like, he completely instigated the whole thing and slapped Dillon. They're like, okay, I'm still not understanding your point. Well, Dillon Danis is the victim. Dillon Danis can't be the victim, dude. It's fucking Dillon Danis, man. Like, the guy's got to go. He's a problem. The guy's a serious problem. I mean, you want to talk about victims? Bring Ali in here. Bring Ali in here. They bring Ali Abdelaziz in. They're all, let me see your hand. And he's like, here's my hand. They're all, does it hurt? He's like, it hurts a little bit, man. Yeah, it does. I hit him really fucking hard. They're all, you need some ice? I don't think I need any ice. I think I could just go watch the fights. But your hand does hurt. Yeah, my hand hurts, man. I slapped the fuck out of that little bitch. Yep, see? Who's the real victim, you guys? Is it Dillon Danis or is it Ali? Look at his fucking hand, man. He's going to be feeling that for the next hour, okay? So don't tell me Dillon Danis is the fucking victim when Ali's hand feels like that after slapping his fucking face, man. You know? It's Dillon Danis. He can't be a victim, dude. He can't. So, yeah, I mean, so the real reason I would imagine that Ali slapped him is because he knows he can. Why would he not? And, you know, I mean, look, if you're going to talk about Dillon Danis, you have to just say, in a world where promoting your name and making yourself newsworthy is the goal, I don't think many people are better at this than him. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. Like, I'm not sure if he thinks he's joking around with these guys and everybody's kind of playing around and it's like, you know, hey, Dillon Danis. But all I know is that people intentionally play the heel to get in the press. When I saw Dillon, when he was on Food Truck Diaries, he's just kind of like, again, he's one of those guys that could totally be accidentally tripping over his dick and landing on, well, I don't know how I keep ending up in the press. Like, I just keep tweeting things at people and all of a sudden I'm a big deal. Like, he's unconsciously so obnoxious that, like, he doesn't even realize what he's doing, but he's like, I like it. I mean, I don't mind being in the press, and maybe he's intentionally making himself the victim of things. So he's like, yeah, I bet you that'll get some press. Hey, are you fucking, and then afterwards he's like, are you fucking serious, dude? You weren't filming when Ali slapped me? Well, yeah, I didn't know he was just gonna slap you. I could have got 10 times the press. They're like, you wanted a video of you being assaulted by a person who's much smaller than you and you not doing shit out in the press? Of course I did, dude. Are you fucking serious? What do you think I'm doing here? Jesus, man. You're banned for life also. Well, you can't ban me from UFC because you just can't. Well, fuck you, man. So, yeah, I mean, these are just the things that I think are funny, you know? Like, I really genuinely think it's hilarious that, like, there's, like, you know, usually I'm just gonna keep going back to this. Like, usually this person slaps this person. It's like, well, why'd he do it? You know? Like, what happened? And in this case, it's like, you don't even need to say anything. It's like, well, it's because it's Dillon. And then it's like, okay, well, what are the repercussions? Are there going to be any problems? Like, these guys are going to have problems in the future? And like with Dillon, they're like, I mean, well, Ali's probably on a list of about 15 to 16 people that have slapped him last week, right? I mean, I know Ali's kind of famous, but he is probably going to blend into the 16 other people that slapped Dillon Danis around, right? So it's just, I don't know, man. Like, it's the Dillon Danis rule. Like, maybe that's a new thing that I'm going to establish with this video is the Dillon Danis rule, right? So, like, if someone gets beat up or slapped or whatever, and then there's no repercussions for the person who did it, you don't even need to explain. You just go, it's the Dillon Danis rule, man. And everyone knows exactly what you mean. Like, it's not because it's Dillon Danis, but they just know it's like, this guy is such an idiot that, like, you're allowed to, you know, exert violence to a certain point on them as long, you know, it's like you don't really hurt them, but you're allowed to humiliate them with violence for sure, and there's no repercussions. It's like, dude, Dillon Danis rule, man. Fucking Dillon Danis rule. Did you see this guy? Dillon Danis rule. So, like, as an example, like, you know, the Joe Schilling thing, when that guy was like, what? I mean, actually, Joe Schilling kind of fucked that guy up. But let's say that he hadn't knocked the guy unconscious and the guy had gone like this, you know, and then Schilling had just pimp slapped him like a girl, right? And then it was like, man, is he going to get in trouble for that? It's like, fucking Dillon Danis rule, man. No, not at all. I'm establishing that right now, as a matter of fact. I'm coining that. The way that Mexican martial arts established Dana White privilege and then people try to bite it from him, you know, I'll give him some props on that. That's another Jesse. Jesse from Mexican martial arts coined Dana White privilege. Yeah, so I'm coining the Dillon Danis rule, okay? Oh, Dillon Danis rule, bro. Dillon Danis rule. So as long as someone doesn't get seriously injured, you know, there's certain level of idiocy that, you know, can conjure up violence that you are not going to be responsible for. So anyway, I feel like there was other things I wanted to talk about, but that might be it. I'll just mention this, and maybe I'll end up doing a video about this also, but I saw Michael Chandler and Conor agreed to a fight on Twitter. I mean, I almost want to establish a rule for Conor McGregor where it's like, you know, like where two guys say they're going to fight on Twitter and you know it's not actually going to happen, or maybe it might happen, but it would have nothing to do with that conversation on Twitter. You just go, Conor McGregor rule, dude. You know, it's like, oh, this guy said he'll fight this guy. You're like, Conor McGregor rule, dude. Come on. Just tweeting, man. Just tweeting things, right? In this case, that fight definitely ain't happening, and I'll tell you exactly why. Although you guys should probably already know. Both of those guys are huge stars. Huge stars. Chandler is the fucking man, dude. And Conor is Conor, right? And both of them are coming off of how many losses? 2 each. And so what's the likelihood that they're going to put 2 superstars against each other who both have 2 losses, ensuring that one of them is going to have 3 consecutive losses? 0% chance that is not happening. That will not happen, okay? Because both of those guys still have a lot of upside. A lot of upside. If you think, because Conor lost to Dustin Poirier twice, who's arguably and probably going to prove that he's the best lightweight in the world, that means that he's just a dead, chum in the water now. That would be idiotic. And Michael Chandler almost knocked out the current champ. He like with just a hair difference in the outcome, he would have been champion and he'd be fighting Dustin Poirier in his next fight that hadn't even happened yet. And then he lost in a war to Justin Gaethje. If you think you're like, oh yeah, he sucks, man. He's not good. He's not good. Yeah, right, dude. He also, dude, if Justin Gaethje was anyone else, he would have knocked him out in the first round. So those 2 guys, they're not washed out. They just fought guys who are at the absolute elite pinnacle of the sport. They're both going to be good. So they're not fighting. Conor McGregor rule, dude. Conor McGregor rule. And if he slapped either of them, I promise you, Dillon Danis rule does not apply to them. However, do you know who it does apply to? Read my mind. What kind of mood does it look like I'm in? It applies to Josh Fabia. If you slapped Fabia, and people would just be like, that you might even have to establish a different rule, because if you slapped Fabia, if you actually slapped him with any force whatsoever, he would fly and land against the wall like a cartoon in like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Like you just slap, and most people go, oh. Well, I don't know how those people react, but oh. Like you slap Fabia and he flies across the room. Like you slap him and his entire body, he flies against, and then he flattens against the wall, just like a cartoon. And you're like, oh my God, are you okay? He just peels himself off. Of course I'm okay, man. I don't understand. Why are you... I just think you need to look inside yourself and ask yourself why you would have needed to slap me, man. I just don't think you're making good decisions, bro. It's probably because you're so afraid to face who you really are. I'm like, yeah, this shit doesn't work on me, dude. I'm going to slap you again. Anyway, that's what I got. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. Peace.